Can Chelsea get past the round of 16 for the first time since 2014 tonight? Hey guys, welcome back to another match preview. This is, and my heart is beating as I say this, Chelsea versus Atlético Madrid. It is an absolutely massive game for Chelsea because, like I said earlier, Chelsea have not gotten past the round of 16 in the Champions League since 2014. 7 years ago. So it is absolutely crucial that Chelsea break that today and get past, beat Atlético Madrid. It's definitely not going to be an easy game. I'm really nervous about it. I'm always nervous, but especially for this game, such a massive game. I'm going to be saying that like the entire video. But before we get into anything, make sure if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it now, please. I can tell a lot of people watch my videos and don't subscribe, and it would really help me out. And if you'd like, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Chelsea face Atlético Madrid at home in the Champions League. Chelsea have a 1-0 advantage. They have that really important away goal, and now Atlético Madrid have more of an uphill battle. But that's not to say that they're not going to do it. They have really important players coming back that were out in the first leg, like their center back Jimenez. Carrasco is also back, Trippier is also back, so they really have a lot of important players coming back that could be difference makers to their side, and especially make it even more difficult for Chelsea to break them down. Now, looking at Atletico's form, they currently have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in their last 5 La Liga games. They're still sitting at the top of La Liga, but they're only 4 points ahead of Barcelona, and at some point the gap was as high as 12 points, so that really illustrates that they haven't been playing as consistently as they were, and this is mostly due to injuries. Trippier was suspended and players contracting that thing that we don't want to say. So looking at Chelsea have just 2 wins and 3 draws in their last 5 games, and Chelsea do go into this with the advantage, like I said, but they are without 2 of their very important players in Jorginho and Mason Mount. They are both ruled out through suspension, and we're going to get into that as well. Also out are Tammy Abraham and Thiago Silva through injury, but I'm honestly not as worried as to who would have thought that I would say I'm not as worried about Thiago Silva being out, but Christensen has honestly just done such a great job in that defense. So in order to prepare for this game, I really looked at the other game as well to kind of see what the key stats were and how Chelsea and Atletico played against each other. And like I said, I do want to get into the suspended players, so it really is going to be very difficult for Chelsea without Mason Mount. Looking at this, he pressed 21 times, more than any other Chelsea player, so that means that he was really helping to initiate Chelsea's press and applying pressure to an Atletico player when they were carrying or releasing or receiving the ball. So he was really important to Chelsea's press and energy and just trying to win the ball back in dangerous areas as well. We also saw that he had a high number of progressions, 9, only behind Jorginho and Kovacic, and he had 3 successful dribbles, whereas the most anybody else had was once, triple the amount of dribbles that anybody else had. We also know that Mason Mount is a goal threat as well, and here's a terrifying stat for you. Of the 13 goals that have been scored under Thomas Tuchel, 6 have been scored by Mount or Jorginho, so almost half. It is really that when I saw that, I was like, holy, you know. But so this is why I'm feeling a bit nervous, because Chelsea are without 2 of those players. I'm not as worried about Jorginho because I do think that Kovacic and Conte can still get a job done in that midfield, and I do think since Atletico are going to have more of the ball, probably since they need a goal and they need to attack, really Chelsea are going to have to be very solid defensively, and who better to have on your pitch than N'Golo Kante and Kovacic as well. He's really strong defensively, and he can also help to progress the ball. So I do think that combination, I'm really not worried about it, but not having Mason Mount, I think is going to be a massive blow for Chelsea. Like I mentioned earlier, Atletico really need to come out on the front leg, and Chelsea are going to know this because they need to score a goal. So they really have all of the talent and likes to do that, but will they be able to score against the likes of Rudiger, Christensen, and Azpilicueta? Our defense has been superb. Only conceded 2 goals in 12 games under Thomas Tuchel so far, one of them being a Rudiger own goal. And not only that, in the first leg, they didn't even have any shots on target. I do think that that is probably going to change in this game. I think it's going to be a kind of shaky game, but I do think that that back three partnership has looked really strong. So not only does it allow you to have another defensive body on the pitch, but it also allows you to have somebody else to pass back to when Chelsea like to pass out of the back as well, so that they don't lose the ball in a dangerous area in their own third. And we can see against Atletico Madrid, they really all made a lot of tackles, interceptions. Azpilicueta progresses the ball a lot as well. And we see that the long balls from Christensen and Rudiger are just really impressive. Christensen completed 100% of his long balls, 9 out of 9. Rudiger completed 90%, 9 out of 10 of his long balls as well. And something that I thought that was really impressive was that Christensen had over 97% passing accuracy, which when you're being pressed by an Atletico side is very, very impressive. So I think that they are really going to be key in making sure that Atletico are tamed and try to limit the amount of shots that Atletico get. But it really is going to be a difficult game because Atletico are going to come in knowing that they need to score, and they've done it at Anfield. So I'm nervous, but I do think that Chelsea are going to get this job done, but I think it's going to be a bit of a scruffy game. The other main talking point is where are Chelsea's goals going to come from? And you know, you don't have Mason Mount on the pitch, you don't have Jorginho, so that also opens the question of if you get a penalty, who's going to be your penalty taker? But also, nobody else is really looking like super confident. I do think that we'll probably have pacier players on the pitch, like a Timo Werner. He's looked so close to scoring on so many occasions, but just hasn't yet. And I just think that if he had a little bit more confidence, he would be able to, but I don't count on him really. But that kind of brings me into my starting 11, because I do think that we're going to play pacier players. I've already talked about a couple of the players that I think will be starting, so let's just get right into that. At goalkeeper, I think Mendy is obviously going to start. And then interesting, at right back, I'm going to put Reece James for that extra defensive coverage, but I'm also going to have a Callum on the pitch as well. So Reece James at right wing back, and I do think that he hasn't been playing amazing. I do want him on for more defensive coverage, but going forward, we see that he's actually been hindering the attack a little bit. He's been passing backwards, maybe he's just a little bit nervous to lose the ball. I do think that that's something that he can fix, but it is something that I've noticed and that you can see that he really isn't looking forward as much when he's been playing, but he could be very important for Chelsea, so I do think that he will probably get the start. Then back three picks itself, Azpilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger. And at left wing back rather, I put Alonso. Honestly, I didn't think that Chilwell had a good game. I don't think that he deserves to start this game really. You know, I'm not crazy about Alonso, but he gives you an attacking threat. Am I nervous about him defensively? Yes, but I don't know, I think that he's going to start this game. Then the pivot has to be Kante and Kovacic, and then we have 3 players left. So I think we might see Timo, Kai Havertz, and Callum. So maybe Kai playing like a 10 false 9 with Timo and Callum playing a little bit further. So Callum a little bit further on the left and Timo kind of as a 9 false right winger. And the reason why I think this is because Atletico are hopefully going to be playing a little bit more open because they need to score goals. So they're going to be attacking and their defenders are not the paciest. So if they're playing a higher line, it would make sense to have players who are pacey and can run at the defenders and try to create some danger there. And I do think that these players are good at doing that. Now, I wish that Timo Werner was on his best goal scoring self, because then I could feel much more confident in this. But I do think that Kai Havertz has some goals in him. He's looked pretty strong recently. So I do think that that partnership could be very strong. A lot of people are going to say, where is Giroud, and I love Giroud as a player, and I could understand why he would be playing as well. I honestly could. He was the difference maker in the last game, but I also think that he really wasn't in the game that much in the first leg because Atletico were pressing us a little bit more than we expected them to, and Giroud really isn't that much of a pacey player at all. So I think that he was played because we expected them to play a low block, very difficult to break down, and it gives you a target man. But I don't think that that's really going to be the case in this game, and if they have a high line and we need pace to take advantage of a potential weakness that they have, then I don't necessarily think that Giroud is the best person. He brings a lot of experience and he's able to pull a goal out of nowhere like we saw in the first leg, but I just don't know if it's exactly the right fit. So I wouldn't be surprised if he started, but I would understand why he wouldn't. As for score prediction, perhaps like a 1-1 and Chelsea would still go through, but I am nervous, I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be a really difficult game, very shaky, and it would be really impressive if Chelsea can pull this off. I feel like we're so close, already having won against them away, so now we just need to secure just a draw. Well, a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw would secure us that win to go through to the next round. So let's hope. Let me know what your score predictions are. Let me know how you're feeling about this game. I'm a basket of nerves, as you can see. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Really appreciate it. If you liked it, please drop it a like. It honestly helps me out so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my socials. So hope you guys enjoy the game, and until my next video, I'm out.